Bite force.
Bite force. Well, I'll tell you what. Some of our equipment that we use is extremely hard, and as you can see, the bite right now. So I don't know if you guys heard that force, but our sleeves are protected with, they have strong polymer bars inside of them. And on the exterior of the polymer buildup of inside of it is burlap. So it's safe for the dog to bite it. And if you guys want to scoot in, we'll show you guys what's going on over here. So what they're doing right now is conditioning the dog that once he bites somebody, he needs to stand there and be nice and calm. And now what he's simulating is a search. So he's going around, walking around the person. Again, this is a very young dog, brand new into training. He's making sure the dog is stable in his position, and he's putting them in different various challenging positions in order to get the dog to stand by, to stand in a stable guard. So what the guard is, once the dog bites, he has to assume a position where he doesn't move. And then every time the dog does something correct, what these guys are at this stage in training are showing the dogs that when you do something correct, you get rewarded for it. Obviously, the bite is like a big toy because, I mean, it is a big toy. Like I said, it has polymer on the inside, which is a hard plastic, and the exterior is covered with burlap.
500 pounds of pressure.
So, but to answer your question about exactly how many pounds of pressure the dog's bite has is approximately 500 pounds. So what you guys are going to see here right now is what's called a standoff. So what's supposed to happen is the dog will get, the bad guy's going to take off running. When the bad guy takes off running, if he so decides that he wants to give up, we can call the dog out and he stops and stays.
Really good.
So I hope y'all were able to see that, but a little thing we like to say, a dog is the only weapon you can stop mid-send. Any other questions, guys?
So, sorry. Are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, I had a question for you. So what does passive mean? So I know you said that they sit down. Is that so that it's not alert, or when it sits? Because I notice sometimes you have it bark, sometimes you have it sit.
So passive means anything that's not aggressive in a sense. So when we say the dog gives a passive response, is when the dog locates or finds something. What we condition the dogs and train them to is when they locate an aid or explosive odor to give a passive response, which would be a sit or a down, or in some instances, not specifically the DOD, but outside agencies sometimes use a bark. But us in the DOD will use a sit or a down, which is considered passive, and the dog is going to show you a good area of indication of where the next element of searching will come in and begin their search.
What are some of the perks of being a dog handler?
You want me to tell you the honest answer? Being a dog handler is the best job in the DOD. Every single day, there's not a single day I wake up, I'm like, I don't want to go to work. Like, we literally play with dogs all day. My experiences as a working dog handler is the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my entire life. It truly embodies what it means to be in the military and to be completely 100% selfless. That dog never knows its end and it never knows its beginning. It starts and ends with you. You are their entire world when you're their handler. And this job is, I can't speak enough about it. Like, maybe Sergeant Meeks or Sergeant Bunt's got something better than me.
You get so much experience as a military working dog handler. You're gonna do more stuff as a private in the Army as a military working dog handler as opposed to an infantry private. As to in terms of we deploy, our deployment rate at going overseas to Afghanistan, Iraq, all that stuff is much higher than any other unit there is in the Army right now. In terms of going, doing missions for the president, we're always doing missions for the president of the United States, the vice president of the United States, and congressmen all over the world. You travel all over the place, and those experiences are valuable, and you remember them forever.
And I don't know what you guys plan on doing when you grow up, but when I was growing up, I always wanted to be that guy with a dog. It just the exposure you get everyone loves a dog. They see you, people want to come up to talk to you, and they ask you a million questions, and it's just a good feeling. On the other aspect, the military is a good stepping stone. When you come in, you learn how to handle a dog, and then if you guys get lucky enough, you get selected to come down here and learn how to train a dog. So you have two things on your resume to offer. If you decide that you want to give a few years to the military and then go out in the civilian world, you know how to handle a trained dog, and you also know how to train dogs. So if you, whatever you guys desire, if this isn't something that you want to do, you have a stepping stone, and you have a resume, to sort of speak, to go off of and go and do, maybe open your own kennels and train dogs for civilian law enforcement.
So like I said, guys, in a nutshell, this is hands down, bar none, the best job in the DoD, in our professional opinion.
How easy would it be for your military certifications to transfer over to the civilian sector?
Perfect. That's an excellent question. Like Sergeant Bunt said, our job is in such high demand, not only in the military, but in the civilian sector. It'd be incredibly easy. So once you have that, there is only one DoD military working dog handlers course, and it's right here at Lackland when you enlist in the Army and become a military police working dog handler. That is the only one. It transfers incredibly well, and not to mention different various law enforcement duties and law enforcement agencies that would love to have a military police working dog handler. And Sergeant Bunce of St. Meeks have some addition to this.
Yeah, so when you're talking about certificates, every class course that you go to for military working dogs down here, most of the classes are come down here through Lackland Air Force Base. The certificates from basic handlers course to coming to supervisors course with Sergeant Al, getting DTS coming down here for train the trainer course, all those certificates cost a lot of money out in the civilian world. And when we get those here in the military and you go out into civilian world and you have those certificates, you're already in a supervisor's position because they do not have to pay for you to go back to school again. Basic handlers course alone, you're talking about to train a handler with all the gear, 11 weeks and a dog right there, you're talking well over $50,000 to train each one of these handlers. And that's invaluable when you go out to the civilian side because that's cost effective for them because you already have the training. You don't have to go back to it.
And to add to that, when you guys graduate military police school, you get a certificate and you get a handler's course certificate. Those pretty much that school is worth an associate's degree, and you're getting paid to learn. You guys go straight to college. You have to come out of pocket or get scholarships. Pretty much you get paid to do your job. You're getting paid and you're getting college credits for it. So it transfers over really well. If we get civilian guys that come down here and they wish they had joined the military first to go through and get those certificates and get that college credit, they have to come out of pocket lots of money. So,
and that's an excellent addition. Sergeant Bunt said every single certificate, the sister agency that owns is the Air Force. And of course, all these Air Force certificates, they equate to, like Sergeant Bunt said, an associate's degree. So every time you complete a course as the military police working dog handler in the Army, it goes towards a associate's degree plan. So you're essentially double tapping a couple of things as you're knocking out being a military police working dog handler.